Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video I've got some for the military collectors, and that is DiD's World War II German U-boat commander and the periscope diorama set. Both of these are pretty hard to find, which means they tend to be very expensive. However, I happened to come across a really good deal getting both of these two as a set. Truth be told, I already have the U-boat commander. I picked him up about 3 years ago, and even then he was hard to find. And I've always wanted the diorama set. But like I said, the two came in as a set. But it was a really good deal, and having a second U-boat commander figure actually worked out for my collection. So let's take a look at what's inside the box. So first up, we've got the U-boat commander figure set. In case you're interested, the inside of the box lid is just a close-up of the inside of a U-boat, all the machinery. And then here's a image of Captain Lehmann, as he's known. This figure is based off of the captain in the World War II German war movie, Das Boot. So here we've got Captain Lehmann in his service uniform. A second pair of shoes. Then his dagger. Binoculars, a boatswain's whistle, wristwatch. He's a pocket watch, very nicely detailed. I don't know if you can see that face. It's got a German symbol on the back. Little tiny pipe. A scarf. A jacket. Fur-lined jacket. I have to unbutton this. That'll take some doing. One cap. I have learned that it was customary in the German Navy for U-boat commanders to wear a white cap. The other thing I will add is one thing I've learned with these DiD figure sets that have the multiple uniforms but only one cap is that one cap becomes impossible to find. Like I said, I have one of these figure sets already, and I have tried for years now to find a second cap and unsuccessful. I did find one. It was like $50, and the cap looked like it was dirty, and so I obviously didn't buy it. So, pair of goggles, and then some insignia. Let's see. So, and then underneath, even more. A second uniform set, green pants, a green jacket, a checkered shirt, belt, which will be needed for his dagger if you put the dagger on him, gloves, and then some relaxed hands and some gripping hands. So he does not have a trigger hand though, because he doesn't have a weapon other than the dagger. And then this set also comes with the button tool, which is nice. So let's put him together and see how he looks. So here's the periscope diorama. Not much to it. Here's the periscope base. The periscope top itself, it does have these handles that come down. That thing moves a little bit. I don't know what it does. Nothing else really moves on it. There's that. This little emblem, it's a full-size, I guess it's full-size scale of the U-boat badge that the figures wear on their uniform. It comes with an extra head, and this one's clean shaven, which is nice. If I'm going to have multiple versions of them, it's nice to have another version of the head. What's interesting, I find interesting, this diorama comes with a camera and camera case. What's interesting is the figure set, the box on the back shows a camera and camera case, but it doesn't come with one. And I remember when I first got the figure, I was looking all through the box, well, where's the damn camera? Not that I really care if it comes with a camera or not. So there's some extra little fake buttons. I guess, oh, for the back there. These two things, this didn't come with any instructions, so it took me a while to figure out what these are. And, well, these screw in likewise. And so you can position the periscope in two different positions. So, up or down. And then, underneath is this base. This part slips down inside there. This takes up a lot of real estate, which I don't have, so I'm going to try to use the periscope without this and see how it works. So here's our U-boat commander, straight out of the box in his service uniform. The only thing I had to add was his breast eagle, his boatswain's whistle. You can't see it, but I added the leather belt to his pants so I could suspend his dagger from it. One thing I need to clarify, I mentioned that it was customary for U-boat commanders to wear a white hat. The white cap was widely issued throughout the Kriegsmarine. In fact, you know, I think pretty much everyone got a blue cap and a white cap. But it was customary when a U-boat was at sea for the commander to be the only one to wear a white cap. So when they weren't at sea, you know, he could wear a blue cap and other crew members would wear white. So it was just when they were at sea. This uniform, I do have one problem with it, and when you see him next to the Grand Admiral Raider here, The gold braid on his sleeve is of a iron-on transfer type, which I don't like for 3 reasons. One, it's not consistent with Admiral Raider here, and I'd prefer to have consistency throughout my collection. 2, the longevity of it. I remember as a kid getting t-shirts with the iron-on transfer designs on them, and they just would wear out over time. I don't know if that will happen on this figure. It's not like I'm going to be washing him and doing things to wear him out, but I just worry about the longevity of it. And then the third reason is I just think this looks so much better, personally. So I wish they had done the same thing on this figure. And DiD, if you're listening, I'm hoping one day you reissue your Admiral Donitz figure, and if you do, that you upgrade it to match these figures, your newer figures. So there he is in his service uniform, and in a minute we'll look at him in his second uniform. So here he is in his work uniform. This uniform has an interesting provenance. It's not a German uniform per se. It's actually British. After the fall of France, Germany came in possession of a large quantity of abandoned surplus British uniforms, including the British Army's battle uniform, which was in khaki. And not wanting to waste the uniforms, they swapped out the shoulder straps, the insignia, and the buttons for their own, and issued them to the U-boat crews, thinking nobody would mistake them for British crews on a U-boat. And then over time, as those wore out and they needed to be replaced, they replaced them with uniforms of their own making in the gray-green color. So that's what you've got here in the figure on the left. He's got his check shirt on, and then his work uniform and the extra pair of shoes. These are actual buttons, and you do have a strap that goes in a buckle here. You do have this pin that you do have to pin on him. And also, he only comes with one set of badges, so you do have to put these badges on him, as well as the boatswain whistle and the watch. If it's not in his hand, it loops up and goes into this pocket, pretty much like his boatswain's whistle is. This pose I got right out of the box. He's wearing his goggles and holding his pocket watch, looking at his pocket stopwatch, I guess you'd call it. I did that. Since I didn't have to worry about a hat. As I mentioned earlier, this figure set only came with one cap. So, if you have this figure set, or you're lucky enough to come across one, and you're thinking, oh, I want to get him out of this uniform and put him in this one, I advise you not to do that. Do not take this uniform off of the figure. I would get a second body and dress that one for 2 reasons. One, these are actual little tiny buttons and little tiny buttonholes, and you have to be very careful unbuttoning. And the other thing is these shoes. For some reason, DiD laced them up in a weird way so that they're horizontal, the laces. And it took me 30 minutes to get the shoes off of the other figure. These shoes are laced up normally with a cross pattern, so you won't have a problem with these. But these were a real bitch to get off. So there you have him in his both uniforms he comes with. There's still the periscope diorama and some other things, and plus the extra head sculpt I have, so that means a third figure, and we'll look at him in just a second. So here is the third iteration of Lehmann with his winter weather coat on and the extra head sculpt from the diorama set. The pictures always showed him wearing the uniform top with underneath this jacket or coat, but my experience has been trying to put both a shirt and a jacket underneath another jacket or coat is not only difficult, but then it's hard posing. There's just too many layers of clothing, so I opted to do them without the uniform top. Hey, if he's at sea, he's the ranking officer. Who's going to tell him he can't do that? The one problem I ran into, even though this is the body from the figure set, when I put this head sculpt on it, it was kind of loose. So I ended up solving that problem by adding a padded undersuit to the figure. It did fill out the shirt and the pants more. It took a bit to work the pants all the way up over that because the padded suit comes down to I think about here. But it did stabilize the head. The head is not loose anymore. So he looks much better in my opinion. I also got to use the binoculars and his gloves. As you know, I do not like, I have a hard time posing the bendable hands with the gloves on them, so I just have them holding them here. And also I decided to leave his coat undone. Originally I was going to have it buttoned up, but then I just, let's make it more dynamic pose. It's not that difficult to button up this coat. He's got these elastic loops that just go over the button, if you were wondering. So, the other advantage to this pose is by having his arm just resting on the periscope instead of having him grabbing the periscope, is if I have to move it, then, they easily separate. I don't have to worry about holding two things as I move them. So there you are. There is, one other thing I'll add. His rank, if you're interested, based on the shoulder straps and the insignia on it, is Lieutenant Captain. And that is equivalent to a captain in the Army and German Air Force. So there you have it, Lieutenant Captain Lehmann of the U-boat crew. Hope you enjoyed it.